The Prelude. Bookwise summary of William Wordsworth's The Prelude. Book 1, Introduction. The first book introduces Wordsworth as a young boy growing up in the Lake District of England. He describes the beauty of the natural landscape around him and the impact it has on his developing consciousness. Wordsworth also reflects on the power of memory and the importance of his childhood experiences in shaping his adult life. Book 2, School Time. In this book, Wordsworth discusses his time at school and the influence of classical literature on his early poetic imagination. He describes his love for nature and the ways in which it helped him to escape the rigidity of academic life. Wordsworth also explores the tension between reason and imagination and the role of the poet in mediating between the two. Book 3, Residence at Cambridge. In Book 3, Wordsworth reflects on his time at Cambridge University, where he struggled to find a place for himself in the intellectual and social hierarchy of the institution. He discusses his growing dissatisfaction with the traditional modes of learning and his increasing interest in poetry as a means of expressing his own thoughts and emotions. Book 4, Summer Vacation. In this book, Wordsworth recounts his travels through Europe during a summer vacation. He describes his experiences in France during the early stages of the French Revolution and the impact they had on his political and philosophical views. Wordsworth also reflects on the power of nature to heal and restore the human spirit. Book 5, Books. In Book 5, Wordsworth discusses the role of literature in his intellectual and emotional development. He reflects on the books that influenced him most deeply and the ways in which they shaped his understanding of the world and his place in it. Book 6, Cambridge and the Alps. This book continues to follow Wordsworth's travels through Europe, including his journey through the Alps. He reflects on the beauty of the natural landscape and its ability to inspire awe and wonder in the human mind. Wordsworth also explores the relationship between the individual self and the natural world. Book 7, Residence in London. In this book, Wordsworth describes his time living in London and his growing disillusionment with the city's materialism and corruption. He discusses his increasing interest in the natural world and his desire to live a more simple and authentic life. Book 8, Retrospect, Love of Nature Leading to Love of Mankind. Book 8 is a retrospective account of Wordsworth's journey thus far. He reflects on the ways in which his love of nature has led him to a greater appreciation of humanity and his desire to create poetry that speaks to the human heart. Book 9, Residence in France. In this book, Wordsworth returns to France during the height of the French Revolution. He reflects on the political and social upheaval of the time and the impact it had on his own spiritual and creative development. Wordsworth also explores the relationship between memory and imagination and the ways in which poetry can help to bridge the gap between the two. Book 10, Residence in France, Continued. Book 10 covers Wordsworth's first love affair and subsequent heartbreak. He describes the intense emotional pain he experienced and the ways in which it forced him to confront his own mortality and the fleeting nature of human existence. Book 11, Imagination and Taste, How Impaired and Restored. In this book, Wordsworth explores the ways in which his own imagination and artistic taste have been influenced by the various experiences and influences of his life. He reflects on the ways in which these influences have both hindered and enriched his poetic vision. Book 12, Imagination and Taste, How Impaired and Restored, Continued. Book 12 continues to explore the themes of imagination and artistic taste, including the ways in which Wordsworth's own spiritual beliefs and understanding of the natural world have. Some important lines from the Prelude by William Wordsworth. Oh, there is blessing in this gentle breeze, a visitant that while it fans my cheek doth seem half conscious of the joy it brings from the green fields, and from yon azure sky. Book 1, lines 23 to 26. And I, who had felt something in the way of an including spirit, which diffused gladness and mildness, equally from eyes and from all sweet connections, open or concealed, had found in him a steady friend. Book 2, lines 336 to 340. I saw, not without amazement and regret, youth passed in penury, and enforced to part with what would have ensured his future peace. Book 3, lines 155 to 158. There are in our existence spots of time that with distinct preeminence retain renovating virtue. Book 12, lines 208 to 210. And through her, nature's living glory, lo, the floor of heaven is thick inlaid with patines of bright gold. Book 13, lines 62 to 64. Our birth is but a sleep and a forgetting. The soul that rises with us, our life's star, hath had elsewhere its setting, and cometh from afar. Book 14, lines 59 to 62. For I have learned to look on nature, not as in the hour of thoughtless youth, but hearing oftentimes the still, sad music of humanity. Book 14, lines 31 to 34. Writing style or composition. The writing style of the Prelude by William Wordsworth is considered to be highly poetic and reflective in nature. Wordsworth's composition is characterized by his use of simple language and his focus on everyday experiences and natural landscapes. Wordsworth is known for his use of blank verse, a form of poetry that does not rhyme but instead relies on the rhythm of the lines to create a sense of musicality. He also employs a range of literary devices, such as metaphors, similes, and personification, to convey his ideas and emotions. In terms of composition, the Prelude is organized into 14 books that follow the trajectory of Wordsworth's life, from his childhood experiences in the Lake District to his travels through Europe and his development as a poet and thinker. The poem is autobiographical in nature and reflects Wordsworth's belief in the power of personal experience and memory to shape the individual's understanding of the world. Overall, the Prelude is characterized by its intimate and introspective style, its focus on nature and the individual's relationship to it, and its exploration of the themes of memory, imagination, and personal growth. Major themes. The Prelude by William Wordsworth explores a range of themes, including nature. Wordsworth was known for his love of nature, and the Prelude is no exception. The poem celebrates the beauty and power of the natural world and suggests that the individual's relationship to nature is essential for personal growth and spiritual renewal. Memory. Another major theme of the Prelude is memory. Wordsworth believed that personal experiences and memories played a crucial role in shaping an individual's understanding of the world. The poem explores the power of memory to evoke emotions and to transform the individual's perception of the present. Imagination. Wordsworth also believed in the importance of imagination, which he saw as a creative force that could transform the mundane into the extraordinary. The Prelude explores the power of imagination to shape the individual's perception of reality and to inspire creativity. Childhood. The poem begins with Wordsworth's childhood experiences in the Lake District, and childhood is a recurring theme throughout the work. The Prelude suggests that childhood experiences shape the individual's character and worldview, and that the memories of childhood retain a special power and significance throughout one's life. Spiritual growth. The Prelude is a poem about personal growth and transformation. Through his experiences with nature, memory, and imagination, Wordsworth suggests that the individual can achieve a deeper understanding of the self and the world and can develop a sense of spiritual connectedness to the universe.